Well, hey friends, Jennifer Allwood here. I teach small business owners how to use social media to build a business while they keep their faith in their family their top priority. And we have got a fun topic for you today. So, all right, today we're going to talk about the difference between Facebook likes and Facebook followers or follows. Sometimes it's followers, sometimes it's follows. Here's what you can basically count on being true. Facebook's changing something, and I want you guys to know about it so that you can kind of be watching for it, okay? So if you have a business page, or if you like any business pages, perhaps you like the Jennifer Allwood business Facebook page, you'll know that it gives you a couple of different options, okay? It gives you the option to like or to follow a page. So I want to talk to you about what the difference is with those two. If you're a business owner, which you should be more focused on, what to do if the gap between the numbers is growing more significant, etc. Okay, so but first I want you to do me a favor. If you don't already subscribe to this channel, hit subscribe. So what's the difference between likes and follows? Okay, I'm going to give you the deal on this. So a like basically means I'm okay with my friends and family knowing that I like your page. It's like a public declaration that you are a fan, you are an approval of the content. You like my business page, then you like what I'm kind of putting out there into the world. Okay, that's different than being a follower or just following a page. Okay, so when someone follows your page, they're basically telling Facebook that they do want to see your content in the feed, but they kind of want to do it on the down low. They don't really want to be associated with their content. They don't want you to maybe know that they've liked your page. So how many of you have done this? Like you see a new page that comes up, across your feed, and you click on it and it'll show you that your friend Kenna likes the page, your friend Rachel likes the page, your friend Shauna likes the page, your friend Laura likes the page. You're like, okay, well then I'm in, right? And so then you like the page. But right now, there are some good for instances, especially when we're in a very political climate, where not everybody wants everybody to know the things that they are liking and following along with. Does that make sense? It's kind of more anonymous if you're following a page and not like it. It's almost like you can be spying on a page. I see a lot of competitors do this. So they don't want you to know, because they're in the same industry as you, that they're liking your page, so they just follow it. That way they still get the updates, they still see what you're doing, but nobody else sees that they like your page and you don't see that they like your page. Does that make sense? So it's a little more sly. If people are going to follow your page, what you hope that they do is that they click on follow and then they click on the option of getting your content first, because then that means that even if they're just spying, they're really interested in your page and it'll come up first on their content. So there's that. Okay, so you can like a page without following it. All right, I'm going to give you a good example of when this would happen. Let's say maybe your sister, maybe she likes your fitness page, but she really cannot stand that you're paleo and she's not. So she unfollows your fitness page because your posts drive her absolutely batty. Does that make sense? Like, she can like it because it's the right thing to do, your family, but then she can unfollow it and you never ever know about it. Now, the opposite of that is that you can follow a page but not like it. So I gave you a good example of maybe a competitor just wants to spy on your content. And so the interesting thing is these numbers usually are different, and Facebook is kind of making it harder to figure out where you can find these numbers at. So if you go to your Facebook business page, if you've got a business page right now, if you don't, why not? If you have a business, you need to be operating your business on a Facebook business page. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to get in my coaching group. I'll just say that, okay? So if I go to my page right now, it shows at the top that I have 366,680 likes. Can you see that right there? It's kind of hard to see with my Diva ring light on, but it's right there, okay? I can't see, actually, from my phone how many follows I have. But if I go over to my desktop, I'm going to pull it up on my desktop and I'm going to show you, because it's interesting that Facebook shows different things in different places. It also shows different things to different people. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. So let me share my screen here real quick so that you can see my business page on desktop. Okay, so I am going to see where it says Jennifer Allwood, the magic brush. It's my own business name. I teach women how to grow their social media. I have a book, yada, yada. And then it says home, live videos, da, 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 da. You go down to the word community. Interesting, right? Because I don't know that the word community is what I would have chose if I ran Facebook, but when Mark and I get together again, I'll let him know. Okay, here's where I can see my own numbers. I have 366,000 likes and 367,000 follows. So the numbers are about 1,000 different, which means that I have maybe 1,000 people who don't want other people to know they're supporting my page. Maybe they are competitors of mine and they're interested in seeing what I'm posting, but they don't want it to be like a public thing. Does that make sense? Interesting, right? Isn't that interesting? Okay, but I wanted to show you that. It doesn't say anymore on my home screen. Let me go back to my home screen. I'm going to show you something again. It doesn't show anymore on my home screen anything about likes, which it used to. Right here under my profile picture, you can see it just says 367,000 followers. So my team and I are like, what's happening? It kind of feels like Facebook is rolling something out where it's basically kind of making the likes harder to see, and it's just showing followers. The truth is, I wish that they would just keep it simple. I wish that they would keep it simple and just have one number. But I do want to show you a different Facebook page. So literally a little bit ago, I was like, whose page can I show? And I was thinking of, well, let me just type in the words fitness. And then I remembered these people that I go to church with. Oh my gosh, that's right. They have like a Facebook business page, and I've never actually liked it yet, so I should probably do that. And so I'm going to show you their page. Hang on here. When I came over to look at it, it did not even give me the option, you guys, of liking it. The only thing that I could do was follow it. Very interesting, right? See, right here it says I'm following. It says I'm following, and I can see them first or default or unfollow. Okay, but basically you see what I'm saying. It's making things harder to see. Rachel, who works for me, and we were both noticing how on our phone, it says something different. I just sent her a screenshot a few minutes ago. So her and I both went and looked at Amazon Prime, okay? And I'm gonna show you, let me see if this would be a better example. But Amazon Prime has its own Facebook page. Kind of weird, gotta tell you. So, hang on, I'll show you. If I come here and look at Amazon Prime's page, see how I have the option to follow, right? But Rachel had the option to like or follow. Isn't that interesting? So here's what you need to know about Facebook. They're constantly, okay, I can like it as my page instead of liking it as a person. Interesting. I'm gonna click follow and see what happens. All right, well, there you have it. Here's what you can just take to the bank when it comes to Facebook. Number one, they are constantly always changing everything. So don't get too concerned about, should I be mostly focused on followers or likes, or is it follows or likes? Listen, the truth is you really need to be focused on just serving whatever people you have there, whether they're liking, whether they're following, whether they're standing on their head, cheering you on. Just focus on serving them, because Facebook is constantly changing how they word things, where you can find things. And so many business owners get so tripped up on focusing on the things that don't matter. I know that my business coach told me one time, he said, Jennifer, stop tripping on pennies on your way to dollars. And that's what you're doing if you're trying to figure out what should I be most focused on. Now, the truth is you don't want the number of followers and likes to have a really huge gap that's getting even bigger, because then that basically says something weird's kind of going on. So you want the numbers to be relatively close. And if they are, don't worry about it. You just go about your business of building your business, putting out really great content that people really want to interact with, serving your audience well, and those numbers will both just organically continue to rise. I remember that I have a book that I wrote a couple months ago. Here's that philosophy right there on Amazon. And I remember a friend of mine who I used to coach with, she had amazing words of wisdom for me. She said, Jennifer, when you put a book out in the world, don't focus on how many books you sell. Focus on how much the ones that you do sell have an impact on people. Focus on impact over actual numbers. I want you to use that same rule of thumb when it comes to watching your numbers on social media. Some people are so obsessed with watching their numbers. Are they going up? Are they going down? Are they, who's liking? Who's following? Listen, just focus on impacting well and serving people well on your social media accounts, and the numbers are going to do what they're going to do. And your sales are going to reflect your level of service. I hope that that's so helpful today. I hope that you've learned something new. I hope that you enjoyed this. Send this to one of your friends if they have a business page and you think that it might be valuable to them. And we have a quiz. Oh, yes. Okay. We have a quiz. If you are interested in if this was like old news to you and you're like, oh my gosh, I already knew all of this, Jennifer. Well, we have a little quiz that will basically rate like what your social media IQ is. You can go to jenniferallwood.com/IQ quiz. That's Jennifer Allwood, ALLWOD.com/IQ quiz. Go get that. It's just a fun little quiz and you'll kind of get a good measurement of where you are with all your social media. Until next time, be blessed. Bye-bye.